Hey guys, my name is Cioré Taylor and I am super excited that you have decided to join me today. This here is my YouTube channel where we will be talking about everything that I experience in life. So that could be career, that could be relationships, that could be just any life advice that I believe pertains to me at that moment. And a lot of times these things hit really close to home, but I'm going to always try to keep them general so that we can all glean from the lesson that I learned. All right, so be sure to subscribe to this channel and let's get ready to dive right in. So let's talk about it. Winning isn't easy. It's not easy at all, and very often we feel like it's actually impossible. But what I have come to tell you is that it's not about winning being easy, but winning is actually very simple. And the reason that it's so simple, it's because it has nothing to do with what society and social media and the world tries to tell us about it. It has nothing to do with competition. It has nothing to do with winning awards. It has nothing to do with receiving compliments or even being in the spotlight. Winning really only requires one thing, and that thing is something that I would like to share with you in this analogy. The other day, I was out having a meetup with some mentors of mine. I think it's super important that everybody has a mentor, really a mentor for every area of your life. But if you have one, that is better than none. So that's just a side note. But the other day, I was having lunch with one of my mentors. It's actually a couple. And they asked me, hey, what's your definition for success? And they said, don't give me a generic definition for success. Give me your definition for success. And so what I told them was, I was like, success for me is being able to do everything that I love. Success for me is, being able to have the financial freedom to afford to do the things that I want to do, to retire my parents, and just to spend my days relaxing and spend my days doing only things that I can do. I think that success is being able to be proud and confident and living out my God-given purpose. And I also think that having a family is important. I think that, having a career is important. Having some sort of influence is important. It's not about the dollar amount, but I do think that we all want these things in life, and that's what I would say success is. I know that success is different for everyone, but that's my answer. And I just really appreciate how they responded to that answer, because they said, okay, you're right in some ways. Success can be all of those things, but success looks different for everyone. What's one definition for success that is pretty universal no matter who it is that you're talking to? And I pondered on it for a while, and I said, well, success probably just means being content with who you are. And they said, well, that's a good answer too, but what they wanted to share with me is something that a mentor had actually told them. And what they said about success was that success in the most basic form just means not giving up. And when we think about success being that simple, not giving up, we can think about winning that way. We win when we don't give up. We win when we don't focus on the distractions that people are trying to throw at us. We win when we continue to do whatever we've planned to do and we don't let anything stop us. Because we all know that we're on different journeys. We all know that nobody's life looks the same, and we all know how judgmental people are and how little bit of an influence people's opinions actually have on our lives. So what can we do to control whether or not we win? Simply don't give up. So another thing that the world tries to teach us is that failure isn't an option. They want to teach us that losing is bad. They want to teach us that if we make mistakes, then we won't be valued as much. We won't be worthy. We won't have the opportunity to bounce back. And for a lot of people, including myself, hearing that type of rhetoric, like hearing people say that, sometimes it makes me so frustrated that I don't even want to try. Like sometimes it gets so deep in my mind that it can make me feel depressed. It can make me feel like, why even bother if I'm not going to be perfect the first time? It can make me feel like there is such thing as being perfect when we all know that these things are not true. What I want to share with you today is 3 practical things that all of us can focus on that will help us win in life. And these are 3 things that anybody could do. The very first thing is, know the difference between winning the battle and winning the war. Like, so many times, a lot of us will put all of our energy into trying to be right. We don't focus on being righteous. We don't focus on, being the person that people want to look up to. We don't focus on what's the long-term result of how we respond in this moment. We choose to react because we think back to, it's a competition, so I need to be the loudest person in the room. I need to be the one that everyone sees as the winner because somehow that's going to give me long-term satisfaction. And the reality is that is not going to give you long-term satisfaction. What's going to give you satisfaction is actually being able to change things. And that is what people are talking about when it comes to the war. Like, when you're at work with your boss and your boss wants to say little sneaky things under their breath to you or about you or write it up in your performance review, like, your job is not to go off on them, show them who's boss, show them who they shouldn't have lied on, show them who you really are, and just let them have it. Like, that would be winning the battle. People probably would think like, oh, that supervisor really has some issues, or they'll probably think, oh, you really have some issues. I know me personally, when I see heated discussions, I tend to look at the person who's going off like, dang, it really sucks that that person just got out of control. Like, my parents used to tell me all the time, never let anybody take you out of your element. If you let somebody get in a battle with you where it causes you to get outside of character and you feel like you win in that moment, but in the end you still have a bad performance review, no one wants to work with you, no one wants to vouch for you, you've lost. What you would do instead is you would create a plan. You create a plan to have a sit down talk with your supervisor. You create a plan to build allies. You create a plan to really demonstrate your skills in ways that your supervisor doesn't have a say-so over so that other people can vouch for you. There are multiple ways to win the war where you keep your job, maybe you get promoted, or maybe you build all the skills that you need to take those skills elsewhere and start your own business. That is the difference between winning a battle and the war. So do not get distracted. Don't let people take you out of your element. Number 2, don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Like, there is a common saying when it comes to being an entrepreneur, and that is to fail fast. And for some reason, when we talk about failing fast, we think that that's only applicable for people who are starting businesses. What I've learned in my everyday life is that failing fast is necessary in everything that we do in life. In relationships with a significant other, with our boss, with our coworkers, with people at our church, with our children. Like, sometimes we just don't have the answer, and contemplating over which answer is right, which one is wrong, which one's gonna have the best impact, which one is gonna scar this child for life. Like, a lot of times we just have to go with our instinct. We have to see what happens and we have to learn. We have to be quick with it because maybe we do something wrong and it hurts someone, but then we know not to do it again. Instead of prolonging that pain because we're so indecisive about potentially failing when we don't take action. Like, that is extremely important for all of us to know that there is no such thing as being perfect. And whether it's parenting, whether it's mentoring, whether it's being the oldest of multiple siblings, like, yes, we all want to set an example for the people who look up to us. But at the end of the day, like, I personally have more respect for people who are transparent in their process, who are transparent in their journey, because I'm human and I know that I'm not perfect. But when I see other people struggle, when I see other people overcome challenges, I know that I can do it too. And not only do I know that I can do it too, but I consider that person to be winning because, again, circling this back to the beginning, they didn't quit. They're still going. They're still ahead of so many other people who did quit. And that's who I want to be. I want to be someone, when people look up to me, they say, I want to be like that person, because they don't let anything stop them. They are strong, they are unbeatable, and they are someone who really goes after it no matter what the cost. And I know that that is someone that I could look up to. I want people to say that about me. And I really hope that you like people to say this about you, because that's what winning is. It's not the materialistic things. It's about the impact that you leave on the world. It's about the influence that you leave on others. It's about the way that you touch and change other people's lives, because we all know it. We all hear it all the time. We cannot take material things with us. And number 3, we really have to stop thinking that only certain people are able to win in life. We have to stop thinking that winning is reserved for celebrities, for talented people, for people who've never done anything wrong, for people who are completely pure. Like, we have to stop thinking that only certain people have access to win. Because the truth be told, not only do we all have access to win, but it's typically the people who we least expect that tend to experience winning the most. Those are the underdogs. Those are the people who know the power of hard work, who know the power of discipline, who know the power of having a vision, and they create a plan and they stick to it. We have to know that winning isn't some special miracle. Yes, God can bless us. The universe can bless us. Whoever you believe can bless us, or we could just walk into our destiny. But that's open to everybody, you know, like that's open to everybody. And when we put ourselves in a position to believe that somehow we're less than, or we're less worthy, or we can't have the things in life that we want to have because someone else got it, or someone else is better for it, or, you know, someone else knows more than I know, then we put ourselves at a disadvantage. Other people don't disqualify us from winning. We disqualify ourselves. And so it's super important that with everything that we do in life, we focus on only doing things that we can control. Not that we need to control the outcome, because only God can control the outcome, but we need to control the energy that we put into things. We can't put energy into gossip. We can't put energy into jealousy. We can't put energy into procrastination, because that only takes us away from the end goal, which is to win. And we can only do that by not giving up. If the 3 points that I shared earlier weren't enough for you, I'm just going to wrap it up with these few points right here. If you want to win in life, there are very few things that you need to do. Because as I said before, winning isn't about being easy, but it is very simple. And if you follow this formula right here, I can tell you from personal experience, you're going to experience more success in your life than you ever have before. And the first thing you have to do is learn, whether that is reading, going to YouTube University, going to workshops, whether that is getting a mentor. You just need to learn about so many things, whatever you can. The next part of the formula is going to be build community. Build people who can pour into you, build people who you can bounce ideas off of, and build people who are going to build a community of people who are going to hold you accountable. The third thing is, don't be afraid to interrogate yourself. And sometimes interrogation is going to come from other people, but you don't have to always feel that the people who love you, who are giving you criticism, are your enemy, because a lot of times they're not. A lot of times they're just trying to help you. And sometimes we're so blinded by our own pride that we can't accept that. But if we're willing to interrogate ourselves and we're willing to be aware of the things that we put out into the world and what our actions are, then that is really all that we can do. The fourth and the fifth thing are really linked together, and those things are create a plan, follow that plan, and don't be afraid to be adaptable. But while you're being adaptable, don't be too apologetic about you being on that plan, because at the end of the day, we drive our own lives. If we can focus on just doing those things, you're gonna be better, I'm gonna be better, and we are gonna both know what it means to actually win in life. Y'all, that's all I have for you. I am super excited that you guys have joined me today. New videos every Wednesday. I will talk to y'all soon, and I hope that y'all have a really great day.